What's going on, guys, and welcome back. So we are still working on our how to beat tier limit to Shizu video. I want to make it actually really good and informative so that we're taking our time with it and trying to get that out as soon as possible. We just had the first weekend of release and it did not disappoint, taking up 26 out of the top 32 slots at the YCS. However, we'll have a full top breakdown from I got at least 7 different regionals and the YCS. We'll put all that into a pie chart and show you guys, hoping to have that up tomorrow as well. Like, share, subscribe, comment down below for all that good stuff. But today we have Phantom Knights for the format. I like playing rogue decks. I like playing not meta decks. And I mean, right now we're borderline tier 0 format, so it's pretty easy to find decks that are not meta. Because, well, for the most part, the meta's, tier limits. A few things there, here or there, like Bestial Sprite, Hand Trap Sprite, whatever we want to call it. I just have one quick little combo line, I guess a combo line, if you will, showing here. 2 level 3s. This was supposed to just be a random hand. I was like, oh, okay. Like, we opened all of our dangers. And then I'm like, okay, revealed Jackalope. And then we hit Jackalope. I'm like, oh, cool. Like, that's how that goes. We're going to go dump graph, do our BA stuff, summon the Seer, go Rusty, Seer, get back the Cherubini. And I wanted to play a deck that has synergy with the graveyard that isn't just going to auto lose to getting milled. However, I will see Mudora and Keldo hurt more because obviously them shuffling back our key pieces is going to hurt more. Rusty going to dump our Torn Scales so that way we can get to it, get our Brigadine banished to go ahead and search. Then Torn Scales is going to summon. Now we can go ahead, effect, discarding just to get the free body on board out of our graveyard. There's no point in discarding Nessie because we're just playing the one of each of the 4 dangers. Talk about it, I guess, now. I was going to play Mothman, but in a tier limits, tier 0 format, the last thing I want to do is give my opponent that advantage. I know Chupacabra is not necessarily ideal and there's some hit and miss with it. However, usually, like, Chupacabra, if I open it, I mean, it's in my hand, it's not often that I'll reveal it to try and summon it. I'll save it to summon from grave, or more often than not, it's there like to summon off of Jackalope as a level 4. Because, believe it or not, guys, Abyss Dweller is insane right now. And believe it or not, we make Abyss Dweller very, very easily. So we're going to go a little further there, summon out the Jackalope. Ancient Cloak, go ahead and grab our Stained Greaves, because now we can special summon that Shade Brigadine, then chain to the summon the Stained Greaves, who then can become a level 4. Then we go into our Abyss Dweller that way. Here you can go into like IP with your Cherubini. Keep in mind you cannot go into Avermax then, because this was summoned from the graveyard, not from the extra deck. So keep that in mind. However, you could go, say, into a Unicorn for a spin if they try to beat over your Dweller. Or for like this instance, we're going to go for the Napaloosa, so that like draw phase we can Abyss Dweller, and say they have Herald of the Orange Light, we can go ahead and negate it with the Appaloosa to make sure our Abyss Dweller does in fact go through. We also have a Fog Blade, 2 more cards in hand. So this is kind of like, you reveal your Jackalope, you hit it, normal summon banishable, that's pretty important, Phantom Knight. But let's go into a replay. So this was game 1. Game 2 I misplayed horribly and ended up losing. Not saying I'm playing these optimally, like just trying to find these different play lines and experimenting with the deck. We'll get an actual replay video where we're trying to we're always trying to play proper, play good, but right now I'm like still in the testing phases, so I'm really trying to find different play lines, different routes, try things, see what works, see what doesn't. Makes getting replays a little harder. So we go ahead, we summon Scales, and then we ban it or discard the Nessie. He's going to chain the Havness, and he does hit a Medora. That's all he hits. That's decent. So we're going to get Nessie's effect. He chains the Medora to get our cards out of the grave right away. We have the Ghost Bell, so it does not matter. I was really debating there. I was like, do I do it? Do I not do it? I'm like, I still got the Jackalope, and I was like, I want to just do it and see what happens. And try and go for it. Or, yeah, we'd get the Jackalope because Nessie's going to search it no matter what. Jackalope hit Jackalope. My danger draws, I have been absolutely horrible. They have been like, oh, reveal Nessie, hit Nessie, add Jackalope, Jackalope, hit Jackalope. Like, it's been, I went on like a streak of like 10 dangers in a row getting sniped out of my hand, usually with like 3 to 5 cards in hand too. So it's just been super unlucky. Just in case, want to try and get extenders out of the graveyard. Go into our Cherubini, summon out the graph. Wasn't thinking, did that play a little bit off, but it ends up working out all right. Then we go ahead and dump, because then we can dump our wings, who can go ahead and extend for us in a little bit here as well. Showing a couple different play lines. Like I said, this isn't necessarily optimal playing, this is different play lines. I am playing the Cloven Helm, and this may seem awkward, may seem weird, may seem, why are you playing that? It's a level 4 that's revivable off our traps if it gets milled, if they get milled. It's also like, if your other cards get milled, being able to get them back is actually really nice. So I've just kind of had it there. It's probably one of the least important Phantom Knights, but like in the weird, I'm gonna mill your deck, Tier Lament, Shizu format, where Abyss Dweller and level 4s are actually really good as well. I have liked it. I tried without it, and I have cut it, and I'm like, okay, I played without it, I played after cutting it. I just very slightly preferred it in there. It wasn't by much, so if you don't want to play it, you by no means do you need to, because we just saw like that quick combo. Like, there's play lines where you don't need it. It's just kind of there to have. Obviously here that Masquerena was not really useful. Like I said, I didn't play this optimally at all, but it ended up working. So we do have our Abyss Dweller. We can go ahead and use the effect. He chains for Mud Dragon, then he's gonna go discard, summon, and then he's got Keldo in grave 2. Now he can go Abyss Dweller. I don't want him to get to Zeus, but especially with all of his grave card follow-ups. So we're gonna go ahead and Fog Blade on it, so that way he can't attack us. It goes Dark IP, and then we're gonna go ahead, get back our Rusty. So now we draw into Seer. I'm also really good at like opening these and drawing them at the worst times possible. First thing first, I should have done here was use the Abyss Dweller just to force his hand, or force his grave, I suppose in this instance, force his grave. But I not accidentally, I just wasn't paying attention and went Rusty first, and then sprint, Kelbeck, chain the Abyss Dweller. Now he's gonna go Keldo, we force it. Luckily though, we still have Torn Scales in hand with the discard, so it's not like gonna matter at all, especially because it resolves, so now he can't really do anything. Summon back, summon out, or sorry, add, then summon out, go in just to play the resource game in case something goes wrong. Then we can go Dark Revive. Now we can go into Access Code Talker effects to pop, and he is going to surrender at that point. I did get another one. Like I said, game 2 I misplayed very, very badly. There was nothing productive to show from that replay. Even with a loss, I've shown losses on here before. Like, sometimes there's a lot to learn from a loss, so I'm not afraid to show it. However, this just happened to not be one of those. There wasn't really anything to learn from. So now we went into game 3. Right there, I definitely meant to reveal Jackalope, and I'd like to think if I revealed Jackalope, I would have hit Nessie, summon Jackalope, add Snake to hand. However, this is how it played out. We ended up drawing DDG, which is just crazy right now. We still get into combo. He does DD Crow, and we have Bell, but I'm not that worried about the DD Crow, because like, I didn't use the boots yet, and I didn't really need it, because it's like, we're still just starting combo. I'd rather hold it in case like he gets something in grave and wants to like shuffle me back, and like a Medora or a Keldo. So I wanted to hold on to that ghost spell at that point. Then we can go ahead, Brigandine. Then we go grab our Staying Greaves. Like I said, this is why you don't need to play the other one, because then you summoned one, you summon him, he becomes a level 4, you make Abyss Dweller that way. Just try them both out, I guess would be the best way to go for it. Obviously you can't go into IP with a Link monster, but we have Fogblade, DDG, and the Abyss Dweller. Go ahead, shotgun the Abyss Dweller. He did draw DD Crow again. Now he goes for Planet effect. Reno Heart, he has Scream, he normal summoned Reno Heart, and I didn't plan on using DDG. I was going to hope Abyss Dweller was enough to stop him, possibly have it another turn, save DDG if I need to, but he uses Reno Heart, and he also chains the Scream, so it's like, okay, he's going to send 3 and 1. I'm going to chain the DDG now just so they all get banished and I keep stuff out of his graveyard. So he hits 2 spells, 1 monster, sends monster, goes to attack, Fog Blade because we want to keep that Abyss Dweller so we can do it to him again next turn. He sets the Celiac, and then we go Abyss Dweller just to turn his graveyard off, summon our Keldo. We do not care about the screen because we already Abyss Dwellered. We go into Access Code Talker here, and then the effect. He did type that he wanted to use the Celiac on resolution of the attacking, because then he, Celiac, so if you control a tier limits monster, target an effect monster your opponent controls, negate its effect, so I wouldn't be able to pop, it would lose its attack boost, then send a monster you control to the graveyard. So he would have to send his Reno Heart though here, and I would have 18, I'd have my access code, my Rusty, my Dweller still. I did not use Rusty's effect at all neither, so I'd be able to send like Cloak, get to another Fog Blade, or even get to the Fog Blade because we already used the Brigadine, get to the Fog Blade, and then also banish the Cloak to add the Torrent skills, normal summon the Torrent skills, discard the Haunted Mansion, and then just like combo off that way, go into our Break Sword, pop himself, and pop like the Scream, and then bring back materials, and then go into like our Dark Play, revive back, and easily have enough for game no matter what. I guess he would have the DD Crow, so that's a thing, but like for the most part we were in a very, very good situation to win that game regardless of the Celiac. So let's get on into the deck list. Here we are. Here is the spice, the sauce, the goo. Let me know what your thoughts are down. I'll try and explain like choices and rationale as we go through. 3 Torn Scales, 3 Boot. I feel like that's all pretty standard. 2 Cloak. With Tier Laments and milling and everything, I played 3 initially. Didn't really come up too much where I cared for it. I went down to 2 and I have not missed it at all. The Cloven Helm, I considered going for the 3rd Ancient Cloak, but at the moment I like the 2 and 1. The Ragged Gloves, Stained Greaves, and then obviously our Cloven Helm. Like I said, it's level 4, it's revivable, you can banish it to get a Phantom Knight back from your graveyard for follow-up, especially when they're milling. Like, if they mill like 10 cards from you and you like hit like multiple of your Torn Scales and other cards, like, I don't want them to dictate the pace of my game as much as they can sometimes. So then we also have the Graph and the Seer, the cards that are just glued to my hand. Then we have Jackalope, Tsuchinoko, Chupacabra, and Nessie. Recently put this in just because I had so many times where I had combo and say I could have summoned Chupacabra. Like, no, Nessie add a card. I mean, not that that's guaranteed to go to Chupacabra, or I had full combo and I had Snake in hand still, and it's just like, okay, I'm just going to summon out, or not Snake, the Jackalope, I'm just going to summon out a Snake as a level 3, even though it's more or less a body at this point for like Appaloosa, whereas like Chupacabra could also play into Abyss Dweller plays. And I'm like, okay, so Mothman, that's easy because no matter what, like if I miss it I get a level 4, if I hit it I get a draw, and then like Tier Limits, Tier 0. Letting them draw, I don't care. Letting them discard for a card effect, that's something I really did not want them to do at all. I didn't want them playing on my turn more than they already can with like Hapness and these other cards. So we ended up keeping, getting rid of, I shouldn't even say getting rid of, we never put it in. Not putting the Mothman in, going with the Chupacabra instead of 2 Nessie. Tried 3 Nessie, cut it to 2, and then went to 1 with Chupacabra. Haven't missed it, didn't care. It's the worst danger here. Like, it's just free bodies. That just gets you to free bodies, and you know, maybe I'd feel a little different if I didn't just like get my danger sniped all the time. But otherwise too, we have Medora and then 2 Kaldos. If I get milled, these cards are insane. I don't want the mill my opponent deck ones because, kind of like Mothman, I don't want my opponent milling their deck. I'd rather just have these ones because I can, you know, disrupt their graveyard, stop them that way. The better the 2 Keldo. I very rarely will have the like both in hand to summon them, but on that off chance, you know, you never know. Liking the 3 instead of 3 of 1, I'd rather have both, because if you hit both to grave, you can use both their effects. I actually started with like the standard ratios, the 1 yugioh, then 3-3-3 with Kelbeck, Medora, Keldo. And then we ended up cutting Kel back. Well, we went to 1 first, and then we went to 2 Medora, and then we cut Kel back, and then I put Keldo down to 2, and then we cut a yugioh, and this is just where we ended up on our Ishizu cards, and really happy with it. Initially it was PK Ishizu, but at this point I think it's just PK. Like, I can't really call those 3 cards teched in Ishizu. Like, it's PK at this point. D-Shifter card is insane. Every time I open this card, I have 1, because like you D-shifted them, you just completely stop them, and then you can still go into a 4 material Zeus like super easily versus an open board. Depending on your hand, you might even be able to like go for more and try to push, but I mean, Shifter's pretty rough to us, but you can make rank 3, then Downer, then Zeus so easily in this deck. And having it, like I said, a double send Zeus is just really nice. But yeah, Shifter's just insane. 2 Ghost Bells, 1 of each of our Bestials, the 1 Rhoda, the Called By, 3 Crossout, 2 Talents, 3 Fog, 1 Wings, and the 1 Brigadine. Thought about going to 2 Fogblade, but like Tier Lament's just milling so much. I wanted Revival, I wanted Extenders, I wanted cards to start playing in my graveyard if I get hit and things like that. Obviously this is a dark deck. Like, Bestials can really hurt this deck. So like playing the crossouts, like I don't know how many times I'm gonna say like, but I can cross out Medora or Keldo too. Like, that's always a feel good moment. But cross out on one of the Bestials, always, you know, always a good move. So I got 3 outs there. Ghost Bell is an out to it because it can stop it. So I got 5 outs. I apologize, it's getting very late. Didn't feel like waking up early to do this video. But yeah, so Ghost Bells are outs, cross outs are outs. Talents, if they use it and resolve it on me, I can still steal it, and that's a dark monster to continue playing. So like, I can steal it, go into a dark, revive it, and then say if it was Magnemite, I can actually revive it, get the effect to search one of my own in the end phase, and then go into our Rusty that way and just keep playing. So Talents helps play through Bestials, Ghost Bell stops them, Cross Out stops them. Just these different options, or depending, I mean, I don't want to Keldo shuffle back because, you know, then I lose my card too, but those 7 cards help me play through the Bestials or play around them. But yeah, so Shifter's just insane. The deck can pull it off, playing around the Bestials. And then, I mean, there's so many other decks you might see, but I really wanted to focus on the fact that like 70% of tops are coming from one deck specifically. So yeah, that's kind of where our idea was when we were going with this deck. Double Break Sword. Second one hasn't come up a lot, but kind of nice to have. 2 Sea Dragon. Again, second one doesn't always come up, but it's nice to have that recursion, especially in a grindier game. 1 Abyss Dweller. Then we have Downard and Zeus with the Cherubini, the IP, the Dark, Unicorn, Rusty, Appaloosa, Access Code, and Underworld Goddess. She came up a few times in testing, still kind of, you know, I'm still testing, I'm still experimenting, but as of right now, I'm actually pretty happy with this. I wasn't sure how much in real life play I'd be doing for the rest of the year, but if I do, this is probably the deck I'm actually going to go with. I went from Bestial Dragon Link to Virtual World to this, and now Clockwork's also confirmed, so Cyber Dragon may see a comeback from me as well. Yeah, it's going to be a interesting format to say the least. Side deck, completely experimental, that's why we didn't really get into it too much. I like the blow up their monsters, go for the OTK, or hit back row evenly. I think evenly should be staple in pretty much everyone's side decks. Goes a match. I can live completely just going off dark monsters. Break Sword, dark. You know, Cherubini, IP, dark, Unicorn, Rusty, Access Code, all darks. Main deck, like, who do I summon? Bestials or darks. I don't summon you. I don't summon you, but you're dark anyway. I very, very rarely summon these. I mean, I've had times where, like, it's really weird, like, oh, danger, get a body on board. Normal summon Keldo and Medora. Just link into a dark, just for the free body, get it in graveyard. Things like that, but otherwise dark, 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 darks, all darks. So goes a match, very, very good to me, especially going first. DDG is just insane. D-Barrier has actually been kind of lackluster. At the moment, I like the 2-2-1 because I'm essentially playing 3 of each of these through Trap Trick at that point. But yeah, let me know down below your thoughts, and like, share, comment, subscribe, everything else. Oh my goodness, I just did that whole deck profile and had you in the way. So there we go. Like I said, 2 Breaksword, 2 Sea Dragon, Abyss Dweller, Downer, Zeus. I think that's far enough for my image, right? Over, yep, okay, we're good. Oh, now I'm off the screen a little that way. I'm gone. That's it. I'm done. Off screen. But the Raigekis, the Lightning Storms, Evenlies, things like that. Thank you guys for watching, and until next time, take care.